The following is a presentation of the Missouri Sports Network.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another edition of Huddle Up here on in the Bambino, the Italian Cafe studio on the Missouri Sports Network. We're back. It's us again. We're all live and in the flesh. I'm Johnny Mack. That's Coach Archer up there. That's Guy Newcomb, who's feeling a little bit under the weather, but he's going to try to make it through. So if you hear his voice a little bit raspy, that is the scoreboard guy. That is the local resident know-it-all. But he's going to make it. He's here. So look. There's a lot to jump into, guys. How's things going? Let me first ask each one of you. Coach, start with you. How's the week been, buddy?
Great. It's dead week this week, so I haven't been in a gym except I did go to practice on Monday at our middle school, and we started up for real on Monday. So basketballs will be bouncing in gyms across the state.
Coach, for those that don't know where you'll be coaching at this year, tell us a little bit about what you chose to do and the changes you made in your coaching career.
Yeah, I was coaching at Walnut Grove last year. Left there, was planning on getting out of coaching, and I had the opportunity to be the girls' head basketball coach in Bolivar at Bolivar High School. That's kind of where I cut my teeth and spent a lot of time here. So glad to be back home. Instead of driving 30 minutes to practice, I get to drive about 3. So that helps me out a lot.
That saves a lot of time for you to get back and be around the family and pop one of them cold ones. I can tell you that. That's for dang gone sure. Nope. What's up with you and the Marlboro Lights you've been smoking? Talk to me, brother.
Hey, nothing much going on right now. We got the last week. This was the last week of regular season in high school football, and had a huge night Friday night. Saw some big upsets. Saw some great games. The biggest upset was probably Cardinal Ritter getting beat by Lutheran North, and we were watching that. I kept thinking that score cannot be right, but it was indeed right. And been looking forward here, looking at the schedule for this week. We've got state softball coming up, and we'll talk more about that at the end of the show. But it's been great. I'm just ready for some rain up here, and let's get rid of this crap that's in the air.
I hear you, brother. I hear you, but hold off on the cold weather, though. I will give you a little water. I'll come over there. I'll turn a sprinkler on or two for you, but I'll hold off on all that rain, all that other stuff. Let's keep it right where it is. Hey, let's fire up this engine, man. Let's get right into it. The Chiefs, they're the kind of the talk of the town right now. They made some moves last week with DeAndre Hopkins, and it paid off. He looked fairly decent with Patrick Mahomes. But Nuke, there's not a lot of time left before this trade deadline come up, and the Chiefs, I think, are still on the hunt. I heard they made a couple moves. I saw they made a couple moves. Nuke, you want to talk about them?
Well, there's just 5 days remaining here. It's November the 5th is the last day that you can make a trade, and they did. They went out and traded for Uche. He's Josh Uche. He was a second-round pick in the 2020 draft. He's out of Michigan. He's best known as just a designated pass rusher. Even when he was in college at Michigan, he was used almost exclusively on pass downs. He's had 2 sacks this year, 21 in his career. And, people are, they thought, hey, after Jalen Watson went down to injury, he's a defensive back. Why not go get a defensive back? But all they gave up was a 2026 6th-round pick for a player with, the film that he's got rushing the quarterback. I think it's a great bargain for the Chiefs. And hell, you don't need a defensive back if the quarterback's on his ass. You ain't got to cover anybody.
Well, I tell you this, Nuke, the Chiefs look, they look at it pedestrian, Coach, against the Raiders last week. I mean, Patrick's going to make his plays. Kelsey. I still, for the life of me, don't understand how teams could just let Travis Kelsey get a free release, run 7 to 10 yards down the middle of the field, and freaking turn around. It blows my mind when I see this, Coach. Tell me about the Chiefs and how you would rank them, Coach, as far as all the teams in the AFC.
Right now, they're at the top of the heap, and until somebody beats them and proves us otherwise, they're the team to beat in the AFC. And I know you don't like to hear that, but they've kind of put things together with smoke and mirrors, and especially on the offensive side. I think they're living and dying by their defense right now, and they're living pretty well. That defense, they gave up 20 points, which surprised me a little bit against Las Vegas. But I think the 4 weeks prior, they had not given up more than 18 points a game. And when you do that and have Patrick Mahomes, you give yourself a chance to win.
Well, we were kind of discussing off air a little bit about the power rankings, and it kind of got brought up. Well, why are the Ravens considered to be one of the best teams? Well, I tell you why. Because if that kid breaks contain, he can throw the ball. When I say that, I'm talking about Lamar Jackson. He can throw the ball, and he can make 3rd and 6 become 1st and 10 real quick if you're not in the right coverages, guy. But right now, the season ended, guy. Who will we be seeing in the playoffs?
Well, we'll be seeing a bye week, in the playoffs right now, because the Chiefs are the 1 seed right now, and the Ravens are the 6th seed. And Johnny, those people that they still think the Ravens are the best, they just lost to Cleveland. My God, Cleveland's terrible. I mean, the people that think that, they're the people that go and watch Titanic and can't believe the freaking boat sunk at the end of it. But I just don't understand that. And the Chiefs, let's say they go 6-4 the rest of the way. They go 6-4, and they're going to be better than 6-4. The Ravens would have to go 8-1 and pass a whole lot of other people on the way to get to the Chiefs. So I think right now the Chiefs are the best team in the league, and you've added what you've added, and we'll see what that does for the Chiefs going out. And as Archer mentioned, they just given up 20 points. That they've done that 22 consecutive games. That's a streak like the Baltimore Ravens of a decade ago that was the greatest defense ever.
Look, I know you wear a hat, but I think you need to wear glasses. Let me tell you something, young man. The Baltimore Ravens, to me, and the Buffalo Bills, they're coming too. The Baltimore Ravens, they are, just because you lose to Cleveland's an NFL team. Any given Sunday, it's not like y'all went out there and just mop the Raiders, mop the floor with the Raiders. Y'all struggled. Coach, I know you bad at this, Coach, because I've been in your house before. I looked in your closet. I pulled open your drawer. I snooped around a little bit and went into your dresser drawer, and I saw the cheap underwear you had, and I saw the cheap shirts you had. And I'm sorry, I saw some things I shouldn't have saw. It's baked into my memory. I really can't get it out. You got some cheap things in there that shouldn't be had by normal people, Coach. But I guess you feel the same way as Newcomb does, huh?
To a certain extent. There are still a couple teams out there in the AFC that I would be concerned with, especially when it gets to playoff time. The Texans come to mind. They're playing well and will only get better, I think, down the road. And the Bills are scary good. You take a look at that offense they've compiled and put together, and I mean that's a team that can put up 40 every week if they want to. And so hey, I'm not ready to put the crown on the Chiefs' head again, but you still have to like where they're at, considering all of the injuries that they have had this year and the way their defense is playing.
Well, I can't wait till they lose the game. I can't wait. I'm going to have the best time of my life that night. I can't wait till they lose. But look, this has been a good segment. What I think we're going to do, you know what, let's end this segment. We'll come back and we'll jump into the college sports scene and talk a little bit about the World Series because the MSU Bears are playing some good football right now. And Mizzou went down there and caught something the other day, and it wasn't pneumonia like my man Guy got up there. It was a good old-fashioned tail kicking. That's what it was. And they took it, and they liked it, and they rode home on that plane, and they didn't have too much to say about it. But we're going to talk about that in our next segment. So we'll jump off here, get a quick break in, and come back. Don't forget now, this is where you're at. You're listening to Huddle Up. You're on the Missouri Sports Network inside the Bambino's Italian Cafe studio. Don't go anywhere. We will be right back.
Hi, I'll have the avocado toast minus the avocado.
So, toast.
Yeah. Everything is so expensive these days. Hey, Chevy gets it. That's why they're keeping prices down to earth, like on the most affordable EV in America. A super strong and capable Chevy truck. And a high-tech Chevy SUV. Why is Chevy making affordable vehicles connected by OnStar? It's so together, we can do more.
Imagine a bank that goes where you go, creating seamless solutions for every step in your financial journey, allowing you to manage your money the way you want to, with a banking relationship that makes every day extraordinary. Imagine a world full of possibilities, always within reach. Central Bank. We do banking better.
Welcome back, everyone. You're listening to Huddle Up here on the Missouri Sports Network inside of the Bambino's Italian Cafe studio. Hey, we're going to jump right into it. There's a lot to talk about on the college football scene here in our state. We're going to jump up. We're going to start over there in Columbia. And the only reason why I want to, because there's some startling things that are coming out of Columbia that make you kind of scratch your head and wonder what is going on, Coach Archer. They took a thorough whooping, and they played relatively tough the first quarter and a half, but you never felt like they were going to get over the hump, Coach. And then Brady Cook got hurt, Coach, and some just seemed off, Coach. What are your thoughts about his injury and that position moving forward?
Well, I think that you are seeing the importance of Brady Cook on that team. They had some other injuries. They had a starting running back out as well, and a couple wide receivers that were pretty dinged up. But my goodness, the floodgates opened up when he had to take himself out of the game. And it makes me wonder how bad is Brady Cook's ankle. I think it's got to be awfully bad, and a lot worse than what they're letting on. Now they do have a bye week coming up, I believe, and thank goodness for that. Maybe that'll give him some time to heal up. But it begs another question: is if you take a look at their roster and the poor backup Pine came in and I believe had 3 interceptions, and my goodness, you've got to wonder, is the starting quarterback for Mizzou next year even on the roster this year? And I would have to think not.
I would agree with you, Guy. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, and I hope he's not. I mean, Brady Cook, you wonder about, going into last week, you may have wondered about his toughness, but to go to the hospital and then come back and play, I mean, he was obviously dinged up. He's had a week to heal on that, but then you come back into a game there last week and you get a couple late scores to get that victory. I think he was just I think Pine won as well. They're just seeing ghosts out there when you go against those top of the line defenses in the SEC. The 41-10 loss earlier this year to Texas A&M, and they get shut out 34-0. And Pine, he had some success at Notre Dame before he transferred in here to Missouri. So he was not uncomfortable with big situations. I just think maybe it's the guys around him that maybe aren't good enough. And
No,
we'll see.
No, that guy looked bad. Look, I don't know him or his family, so I don't need nobody calling me. I don't want. Hey, this is not personal. He looked bad against Auburn. He didn't look good against Auburn, and so I knew Mizzou was going to struggle because Vanderbilt gave him some problems, and Boston College, I believe it was, also kind of played them tighter than you thought they would have. So I was kind of wondering where Mizzou pedigree was, but. The Tigers will need to get together. What bowl you say they're going to be in, Guy? What is it?
I think they just played their way into the Pop-Tart Bowl.
Oh, I love that bowl. Oh, I love me some Pop-Tarts. So that ain't no bad bowl to go to if you can get Pop-Tarts. But, here on the home front, MSU was putting together something. I don't know, haven't played over there. I kind of was wanting to see how this is going to play out. And Man, they're doing some good things over there. I'm excited about what they got going on going into Conference USA next year. Guy, I'm gonna let you just go into it because I know you got some things you want to tell our audience about how MSU, some of the stats and some of the things they've been doing in the last couple of weeks, 6 weeks to be specific, over there on campus.
Well, I tell you what, if Jacob Clark ain't the all-conference quarterback, I mean, he has been so efficient this year. You know, he's been a 3-time offensive player of the week. They go into UNI, and UNI was not. I mean, they were 1-5 coming into it, 0-3 in the conference, but they played the best 3 teams in the conference, excluding maybe Missouri State. And going into this weekend, they've taken 4 of the last 5 from UNI. It did not used to be like that. I mean, that was going to the Unidome. That's a tough place to play. This is the first 4-0 start in the conference, Johnny, since you played. And the first 6-2 start overall since 1996. And Clark gets another 3 touchdown, 0 interception, 275-yard game. They rush for over 300 yards. And I just think they took the sails out of UNI. Jacardi Wright had a great day, 17 carries, 145 yards, 2 touchdowns. Hunter Wood continues to do it on, receiving, 6 receptions for 74 yards. Now they got Southern Illinois coming in, and then Murray State. And so they should win 8 in a row going into that South Dakota and North Dakota State at the last 2 games of the season.
And then, Coach, as you see there's an announcement, Coach, about MSU and their scheduling, Coach. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, they announced that they're going to pick up Auburn as an opening round or an opening season game. And I believe next year they have USC. They open up out on the West Coast, and I love it. I absolutely love it. From a financial standpoint, they're getting a huge payday, and that can go a long ways in building your program at every level. From a recruiting standpoint, you can tell kids, hey, we open up in sunny Southern California at USC at the Rose Bowl.
Right.
And that's going to sell some kids, especially when you're making that leap into the FBS league or portion of the NCAA, so to speak, the highest levels. So I love it. I mean, I think it's a smart move, and you just hope you don't get a bunch of kids hurt going out there. But boy, that plane ride back, win or loss, all you're doing is counting money.
Yeah, and I think they got to jump into that portal and pick up some players to compete. And another team that's playing down there in the Boot Hill, Guy, the SEMO, the Red Hawks. What are they doing down there?
Well, I tell you, they're off to a tremendous start. Obviously, you're 2/3 of the way through the season. They're 8-1, 5-0 in the Ohio Valley Conference. Paxton Delorent, Camden grad, he was 35 of 58 for 312 yards and 2 touchdowns. They are 8-1. They're ranked number 6 nationally. They've got an opportunity maybe to make a little bit of a run here in the postseason, provided they can keep Delorent upright. He's been injured a little bit off and on because he likes to tuck it and just take off. But if they can keep him healthy, they've got some really good things going on there at Southeast Missouri State.
And Coach, down here, right here locally, Coach Evangel has been playing some good football as well, and they got a pretty tough game coming up.
They do. They actually have 2 very tough games coming up. Nationally ranked opponents. They'll play McPherson coming up this weekend, and it is a home game. And then I believe they're on the road after that at Friends, maybe. I can't remember where they played, but it's also a nationally ranked team. So they've got 2 tough weeks ahead of them. I still think they're the team to beat in the KCAC, and these next 2 weekends will tell a lot.
Absolutely. The Evangel scored 10 points in the last minute and 50 seconds in the fourth quarter here. The Valor's QB, Reed Potts, had a tremendous game, 18 for 32, very efficient, 283 yards with a touchdown. And they only rushed for 84 yards, which is surprising. And they host McPherson, Coach just said, as you said, out there at that great stadium in Nixon. Hey, gentlemen, let's run real quick through what we see, the surprises in this baseball World Series. I didn't see LA going up 3-1, but there have been great games. Last night, game got out of control a little bit, but there was definitely some entertainment there. Nuke, you want to talk about? We can talk about Freddie Freeman if you want to, but I'd rather talk about the guy who tried to tear the arm off of Mookie Betts. Nuke, what's up with that?
Well, there were two of them. You know, the guy, he went up into the stands. One guy grabbed his glove. One guy grabbed his arm and then grabbed his other arm, was trying to hold him up in the air so they could get the ball out of his glove. And they did get it out of his glove, but he was called out. But I can't imagine what that would have, what would have happened had they injured him. I mean, he was in a precarious position with his wrist bent over backwards over that wall. And, you know, had they injured him, I don't know what would have happened there. I mean, that's, you know, and the Yankee fans are high-fiving them and all that kind of stuff going out. And, yeah, I was reading today that both of these guys are actually friends of Gronkowski,
Really?
the old tight end from New England.
Really?
They're buddies of his. And now they didn't originally. Last night, it was reported that the Yankees were going to allow them to come back, their season ticket holders, and were going to allow them to come back to tonight's game. And then MLB stepped in and said, no, under no circumstances are they allowed back in the stadium tonight. But, you know, it kind of brings up, you know, the Stephen Bartman, you know, when they did that, when he took that ball away from, I think it was Moises Alou playing left field there in the Cubs game. The only other thing, I mean, Cubs fans are such dumbasses. He did it to his own team. I mean, that's the situation there. It was just like, good grief, this is your own team. And then you look back at Jeffrey Mayer in Game 1, and I don't know if you remember that. He's a 12-year-old kid, reaches over the wall in Yankee Stadium on Derek Jeter's hit, and they ended up calling it a home run, no interference. So there's some things there, but this one was more egregious because it could have actually injured the player.
Yeah.
So I those guys shouldn't be allowed back in a major league ballpark ever.
Yeah, Bartman was more like an instinct. If you watch the Bartman, I think he wasn't trying to go out and get it. He thought it was kind of coming, and it was in his area, kind of his personal space. And I think he just lost time. The Mayor was a kid. These two are idiots. I mean, these two, they're clowns. Now look, they didn't have the big hat and the nose and the painted shoes, but these were clowns, Coach. What are your thoughts?
First of all, can't go a show without you guys bringing up Cubs history. I feel like the residential punching bag. My goodness,
I've been waiting all day to get Smurfy about that.
I figured you were going to get it in some point in time, talking about the World Series, but. Anyway, beyond that, we'll forget about that. But what's crazy is I was actually working here at my computer and had the TV on behind me, and I didn't see it when it actually happened. And they were in between the actual play and then running the replay. And the one guy is saying, hey, we were within our space. We did not reach out across or anything like that. Yeah, but you about tore the poor guy's arm off, Mookie Betts. And it was just ridiculous. And, I hate to say it, but that it doesn't surprise me it happened in Yankee Stadium.
Does not surprise me, but Coach and Nuke, if you go to the game really quick, Freddie Freeman, he's having this historic series, had a home run each game, 6 consecutive games. That's crazy. He's one behind tying the single World Series mark at 5, but he tied Reggie Jackson in 77. Looks like Chase Utley, if I'm looking at this right, in 2009, and George Springer with the Astros with their cheating selves. Trash can and all the electronics hooked up to their bodies in 2017. We got a game here tonight, and the Yankees got a chance to put this back into a series, and I hope they do. I love to see Garrett Cole again pitching another meaningful game to see if the Dodgers can solve them again. But gentlemen, real quick, I'll start with you, Coach. Who you got tonight, Yanks or Dodge?
Boy, that's a tough one to call. I would love to see the Yankees. I would love to see this series get extended. I'm not ready for baseball to be over with, but I'm going to have to go with the Dodgers. They're just, hey, they've got too many weapons up and down that lineup. And if the Yankees, I don't care who's on the mound, Garrett Cole, Jesus Christ himself, if they pitch to Freddie Freeman in the first inning, they need their heads examined.
Oh, wow. Wow, you gotta talk about the big man, the man up there got a nice fastball. Guy, what about you, brother?
Well, I'm the same way. You throw Freddie Freeman a pitch that he can hit, and he proved it last night because that ball he hit was not down and in, which is where he's been living. That ball was kind of on the outside part of the plate, and he still got it up and out over the right field wall. And of course, they've got that short porch there in New York. But, you know, and I said at the very beginning of this, Garrett Cole has got to win his starts. Now, he didn't win the game one, you know, but it took a late inning heroics by Freddie Freeman to win that game. So I think if he goes out and has a good start tonight, I'm gonna take the Yankees, and I've got a little bit of money on my side too because Fox Sports, they want this to go back to LA.
Right.
They want to get that revenue, and they maybe put some pressure on some people. So I'm gonna take the Yankees tonight and send it back to LA.
I love it. I love it. I love it. Hey, gentlemen, we went a little long on this one, but I think it was really worth it to get some of this in and get our audience up to date on what's going on out there. So we're going to take a quick break. We're going to come back. We're going to end the show talking about some high school sports and what's going on around the state. And so don't go anywhere. You're listening to Huddle Up here on the Missouri Sports Network inside of the Bambino's Italian Fine Dining Cafe Studios. Don't go anywhere. We will be right back.
We believe banking should make your life greater. It starts with affordable options to meet today's needs and tomorrow's dreams. From smart account options that fit your style to flexible loans for what comes next. It means convenient ways to access and manage your money whenever you need it and wherever you're headed. Most of all, it takes great support. Someone you can count on for trusted guidance and to be there for you every step of the way. Great options, great convenience, great support for life. Great Southern Bank, understanding what really matters.
The Walnut Street Inn is located in the heart of Springfield on historic Walnut Street, just blocks away from the Missouri State Campus, Hammonds Field, Great Southern Arena, and downtown Springfield. The Walnut Street Inn features newly remodeled rooms, breakfast served daily, and a friendly, accommodating staff. The Walnut Street Inn is also a great venue for private events. Book your stay or get more information at walnutstreetinn.com or call 417-864-6346.
Welcome back, everyone. You listen to Huddle Up here in the Bambino's Italian Cafe Studios here on the Missouri Sports Network. We're going to jump right into some high school sports here with my main compadres here, Coach Darren Archer and my man is the scoreboard guy, Guy Newcomb. Hey, I know this. Hey, you guys need to be tuning in to Missouri Sports Network and listening to what's going on Friday nights. Guy, where can everyone listen or catch the scores? Because last week was a crazy numbers week, and we want to make sure we keep building on that. Where can they find everything at, Guy?
Well, I tell you what, I need to just do me a favor, do us a favor, and go to our YouTube page and subscribe. And that way you'll know it. You'll get a notification every time we go live. You know, if you want to go back on Saturday morning and listen to the show, you go to Missouri Sports Network at YouTube. You can listen to it. It's all automatically archived there. You can check out every athlete of the week, every morning update, every huddle up, everywhere they now Wednesdays, every on deck show. They're right there. And then go to our Facebook page and like us. But, you know, yeah, huge numbers, well over 150,000. We're over 250,000 right now just this week since Friday. So folks are definitely paying attention. And with this week, with it being the MSHSAA sanctioned events, MSHSAA actually takes over the streaming. So folks, you know, they'll charge you to watch it or to get the scores. But right here, everything's free.
I love it. I love it, Coach. It's a great time of year, Coach. A lot of high school sports going. Softball, volleyball, football. Coaches all going. Pick one, Coach. Where you want to start?
I'm going to start with tennis. Also, tennis starts this week down at the Cooper Complex in Springfield, and 4 state champions will be crowned this coming weekend, and there should be some awfully good tennis matches. And I got to give a shout out to Bolivar High School. They made the Final Four, and actually have 3 or 4 basketball players that are playing tennis. So good luck, Lady Liberators.
Good deal. Good deal. I wonder if you didn't say that, Coach, you'd have got in trouble. You'd got to work tomorrow. So good luck to the Lady Liberators. Nuke, Where you want to go with it? Tell us what you want to talk about, Coach.
Well, we can talk a little bit about the softball. They get underway today, which is Thursday. Class 4 and 5 starts at Killian. You got Lafayette, Wildwood, Liberty North in one semifinal game, and then Elias will take on Rockbridge, and they're like 15 minutes apart, and they're going to play in the semifinals. And then tomorrow or today in Class 5 and Class 4, you got Corey Zoo taking on Belton, and Westminster Christian taking on Father Tolton, who happened to eliminate Bolivar this past weekend in a good game. And then on the first, you get classes 1, 2, and 3. It's all at Killian Complex. You don't have to leave. You can see every game. They play it on all the different fields. The one thing I'm concerned about is the weather. We are expecting a lot of rain here in Southwest Missouri over the next 4 or 5 days, so that'll be a challenge to the field crews and to MSHSAA is to making sure they can get those fields prepared, because it's basically they got a weekend through Monday to get this stuff figured out and get these state champions crowned.
Wow, that's a lot. You were talking about the major upset up there in St. Louis, where last week Coach kept calling them Lutheran South. But when Luther North beat Cardinal Ritter, and to me, we played Cardinal Ritter. They weren't in our conference. We played them every year up in St. Louis. My high school did, Brentwood, and Cardinal Ritter and Luther North Cardinal Ritter's in the north side of the city. Luther North is known to have great athletes. So when I saw those two matched up, I kind of thought, man, Luther North is a traditional powerhouse, which could probably give them fits. What did you see in that game, guy, that made the difference? How did Luther North pull that off?
Well, I think defensively, they just stymied them all game. I mean, I literally thought when I was getting the scores, I thought that can't be right. And then, Coach Archer's texted me, "Are you looking at what Luther North is doing?" And he got it right in the text. Are you looking at what Luther North is doing right? This is like pile on Darren Archer night.
Yeah, folks, if I go missing, start with these two.
But they just defensively they just stymied them, and you don't know if Cardinal Ritter may have been holding some guys out that may have had some bumps and bruises as they get prepared to go into their state run. That could be a possibility. These two teams will not meet again in state because Lutheran North, I believe, is in Class 4, and Cardinal Ritter is Class 5. But that ended a 35 consecutive win streak for Cardinal Ritter.
Wow. Well, you still got them to win state. What do you think?
I don't think there's I don't think there's anybody in Class 5 that can touch them. You look at maybe a very physical Carthage team that's got athletes if they can get to that game. But Carthage is going to have to get by Webb City. They're in the same district, and they beat Webb City by 1 point. You put that Cardinal on the helmet. If you're a Webb City Cardinal, that Cardinal on helmet's worth 2 touchdowns, especially this time of year.
Well, Coach, I want you both of you feel free to let me know what you think about this. What you think Nixa got what it takes to win the 6A state championship?
Absolutely.
Class 6.
They've got Class 6. They've got the pieces to the puzzle to make a run. But if they win their district, they automatically probably going to match up with Lee Summit North, more than likely. Now, Lee Summit North and Lee Summit, I think, are once again in the same district, so that will be an awfully good matchup in that district as well. But I think that Nixa has a legitimate shot, but there's a lot of good teams. DeSmet, CBC, who's the top ranked team in Class 6 in the state, Lee Summit North, like I mentioned. So there's going to be some knockdown dragouts in that Class 6 at that Class 6 level.
Guys, are there any other teams locally, let's talk football, that should be, on the radars that might possibly make a run for that state championship?
Well, I think locally in Class 3, I don't think anybody beats Seneca. I mean, they just beat Lamar by 50 points, on Friday night. They are rolling. They got to the state championship game a year ago. They had a majority of their kids coming back. They're healthy. I think they make a serious run, and I would not be – if I had to bet right now, I would say Seneca's your Class 3 state champions. You've got a very good Class 1 Marionville team, but as you look at their run, I think they're going to run into St. Vincent. St. Vincent They've had an outstanding season. They got their all-state quarterback back. He's a 6'4", 5 kid that can see over the line of scrimmage. He throws the ball really well, and now he's got guys on the outside. Marionville doesn't play teams during the regular season that can stretch the field like St. Vincent's going to be able to. Another team in Class 2 is Fair Grove. They're number 1 ranked team in the state. They're that for a reason. They beat a very good Stratford team 26-11 on Friday night. Stratford was undefeated and ranked in Class 3 in the state coming in. They're healthy, and that's a big part of it, this year is being healthy. And, Valley Catholic has ended their season each of the last 2 years, but Valley Catholic has had some, so to speak, some dents in their armor a little bit this year. But, of course, they got beat by St. Vincent, who's a Class 1 school, which kind of proves my point in that Class 1. But if they can get through Ava, which is a good team, if they can get through a good Ava team, then they'll probably play Valley Catholic and then maybe run into maybe a Tipton on the other side of the bracket. And we've had Tipton on a few times this year, and they've had a tremendous season as well. But those are the schools from this area that I think. And another one to keep an eye on is Republic. They lost their starting quarterback 4 weeks ago to an injury, and they thought that he was done for the year. But at the quarterback club on Monday, Coach Cornelson said, it looks like he's back, for the playoffs. And now they're in a district with an undefeated Branson team. So they're going to have to get through Branson to get into that quarterfinals.
Interesting. A lot going on out there. So, Guy, before we wrap it up, how's the quarterback club? And tell our listeners and viewers where they can be a part of it and what's going to be happening there.
Well, Monday we have our awards banquet where we will award our coaches of the year we have 3 groups, the Springfield City, which includes the SPS schools plus Springfield Catholic, which are the original members of the quarterback club that began 75 years ago. There'll be a coach of the year in that group. Then we've got our Springfield area large school awards, which we will name a coach of the year, and also our Springfield area small schools, which are classes 1 through 3. Each division or each group will have a coach of the year, an offensive player of the year, a defensive player of the year, and a most valuable player. So there'll be 12 awards that will be given out on Monday. I have reached out to all the coaches. I got to interview one of the players today from Ryder Ross from Stratford, who was the area small school offensive player of the year, 1,800 yards rushing this year in 9 games, and had 6 touchdowns, which was a school record earlier this season. So those awards will be given out. It's at Bambino's Italian Cafe. It's at Battlefield and Lone Pine. Doors open at 11. It's $10 cash. You can eat. Or if you just want to come and see your son get an award, or your grandson, hey, come. If you don't have to eat. You can sit in that room and watch the award band. It's free of charge if you don't want to eat. But I guarantee you, when you walk in there and smell that food at Bambino's, you're going to want to eat. And Johnny can attest to this because he was there on Monday and he even took some food home.
Yes, I did. But you got to get there early, get some of them meatballs. But look, we appreciate you listening. Tell a friend to tune in. Listen to Huddle Up here on the Missouri Sports Network inside the Bambino's Italian Cafe. Hey, it's that time of year. I want to tell everyone to go vote, do your part in our democracy here, and go vote and make your voice heard. Hey, we appreciate you. Be safe out there, and Guy, get better, get your voice back. Stop smoking them Camels and the Marlboro Lights, and we'll go from there, Coach. Hey, I look forward to talking to you again next week. And to all our listeners and viewers, we want to thank you for making our show a success. And we'll be back next week here on Huddle Up on the Missouri Sports Network.
This has been a presentation of the Missouri Sports Network. Thank you for tuning in.